Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Jurak here. Thank you for joining us this evening. I know being holiday time, it can be kind of crazy with everything going on. But I wanted to definitely get this information out because I know in the new year for myself anyway, and several of my patients over the years, by the end of holiday season, we're all kind of ready to get on those, the goals that we have for the new year. We're ready for it. A lot of times over the holidays, we drink things that we normally don't, or maybe more than we normally do. And that really makes us want to get healthier and feel better for sure. And it's the end of the year. And so I'm sure some of you as well had some New Year's resolutions for 2020 that maybe didn't happen. So I'm hoping that this will motivate you. As I got into college, I started to notice I had environmental allergies. I love to work out, as many of you know, and I noticed that my energy wasn't as good. My workouts, it took me twice as long, sometimes 3 times as long to recover from those workouts. And I just wasn't feeling really good. My bowels weren't moving well. Lots of information there, right? My bowels weren't moving really well, just didn't feel good. Ended up getting myself tested, doing a lot of the same things that we do here. I was living in Chicago at the time and found that I had food sensitivities, found out that I was toxic. And within literally 30 days on doing a detox, or actually it was 21 days for the one that I had done, I felt like a brand new person. I only lost 3 pounds in that 21 days, but I actually lost 3 pant sizes. I didn't realize how bloated I was. My energy was so much better, and I was sleeping better. I no longer had environmental allergies. So this really sparked me because I've always been interested in biochemistry. And I thought, well, how did I become toxic? I'm not like an alcoholic or anything like that. That was my mindset at the time. And I grew up on a farm, and we did not have an organic farm. So I was exposed to probably quite a few chemicals over the 18 years that I was living at home. And then, of course, in college, my diet was not by any means what some college students can have. But I definitely wasn't eating, I was eating at the time what I thought was right, which was low fat. And that would mean for me, corn chips and salsa, low fat yogurt, like frozen yogurt. I ate that a lot. But to stay up studying, I would drink international coffee, which many of you, I'm sure, are aware of. It's nothing but sugar and caffeine. So that's how I would stay up at night and be studying. So over time, it takes a toll on your body, and it takes 65% loss of function before our bodies actually let us know with a symptom that something is wrong. So for me, it probably didn't happen overnight like most people. It's slowly over time that you don't even realize it's happening until it gets to the point where you're like, whoa, what is happening to me? So we do see a lot of people coming in with migraine headaches, digestive issues, sinus issues, hormone imbalances, just not feeling well. To the people that are like, I just want to stay healthy, kind of ward off disease, boost that immune system, reduce that inflammation, kind of wipe that slate clean, especially in January. And yes, in January, I always do a thorough detox. In fact, our whole staff is. So we're hoping that all of you can join us on that journey. In fact, tonight, for those of you who are attending, you'll notice there's a chat, like a chat box. And if you would be interested in winning this 10-day detox, we are giving that away to those that are watching tonight. So all you need to put in the chat is, I'm in. I do have a list, and I will see who you are so I can mark you as far as that goes. And then we're going to do a drawing tomorrow morning, and we'll let you know who wins. But that's exciting. And I'm excited to be able to do that too. But I'd love to have us all like on that journey, kind of working it out together for sure. But this is a 28-day plan. Now there actually is a 10-day plan. That's what we're giving away. There's also a 21-day plan, and there's a 28-day plan. So in general, what I recommend for people is, if you've never done one before, the 21 or 28-day plan will be the one that you're going to want to do. Or if it's been a long time, I should say too. Now, if you have done them before, probably within the last at least 6 months, then like a 10-day would be good. Or for whatever reason, schedules, whatever, if you want to do a 10-day, I do have patients that actually do 10 days more frequently. So that's another way to do it. So instead of doing a full 28 days, they'll do a 10-day, one 10-day a month, or one 10-day every other month, just to keep things rolling, keep the toxins out. I personally take the products for breakfast. It's my little insurance policy. I'm not a big breakfast person, but it gives you the nutrition you need. It keeps you going, really. It really holds you over till that lunch period. But I do that about 5 days a week. So we're going to go over some of the products too. So fatigue, feeling tired, not able to lose weight is actually a sign of toxins that are being built up in your system that you can't get rid of. Poor digestion as well. That's eliminating reflux, indigestion, feeling you have a brick in your stomach. Sinus issues, I mentioned, that's actually a big one that we see, migraine headaches as well. And this slide actually shows you kind of what happens and how it happens over time. So it can be as something as innocently, if you will, of taking antibiotics, when you're in your 20s or a teenager and things just aren't right. And it actually begins a gut imbalance. So not enough good bacteria, killing off the good bacteria, letting the bad things take hold. And eventually it's this cascade or this waterfall of events in your body that leads to food allergies, a weakened immune system, and nutritional deficiencies can actually affect your nervous system. We've had patients come in literally thinking they have MS, but all the tests and MRIs show that they don't, but they don't quite understand maybe what's going on. And we find that they're toxic. They actually have maybe an overgrowth of certain bad bacteria or even yeast in their digestive tract or in their body. And these things are making these waste products that are literally poisonous to the brain. So you'll start to see different nervous system, not just headaches, but also tingling, things like that. It affects your hormone system, your respiratory system. I actually have a good friend. I can tell when she's not eating well and when she needs to detox because she starts to get this chronic cough. So that can be a sign as well. Headaches, low body temperature. We think, oh, we have a fever. That's not normal, but somehow if we're not that 98.6, maybe we're 97 or 96 point something, that's always called like, oh, that's your normal, you just run low. Well, no, not necessarily. That could mean that your thyroid is struggling a little bit. You might have a low thyroid condition starting, and our thyroid is super sensitive to toxins, so it tends to go there. So if you have even a family history of thyroid problems, it's not a bad idea to do a detox. Things like loose stools, like diarrhea, constipation. So hopefully you guys aren't eating dinner as we go along here, as we talk about some of these topics. Even memory, actually, one thing that I hear from patients over and over again with the detox is, wow, at work, I'm hitting it. I'm getting more done. I'm more productive. Like I can think more clearly. So that is definitely a big bonus. Sleep problems is huge too, and sugar cravings. Sugar is of itself a whole webinar, of course, but it is just toxic to your brain. As many of you know, once you have a little bit, you want more. They've done studies with mice, and they will choose sugar over cocaine. It's that addictive. So if you have trouble getting off of sugar, a detox is a great way to wipe that slate clean and get those sugar cravings to go away. And one of the products we have, one is chai flavored, one is even chocolate flavored. So if you're okay with chocolate, meaning you're not sensitive to it, or for whatever reason you should not have it, it can help with like chocolate cravings. You feel like you're cheating, but you're really not. Vitamin and mineral deficiencies. If your gut is not functioning well because everything is out of balance and things are getting toxic, you're not going to be absorbing well. You're not going to be able to utilize those vitamins and minerals. And muscle pain, inflammation in the joints, muscle pain. These toxins, when they get into your body, will go to the weak points of your body. So if your weak point's your thyroid, it's going to go there. If it's your joints, it's going to go there. So we see that a lot. And then finally, the guys in the water down there, it's like, help. Eventually that's what happens. So this is a great way to basically reset any habits or bad habits that you have fallen into. Now, let's be honest. The whole goal with detoxing isn't to go ahead and do this great detox, feel fantastic, and then go back to old habits that got you there in the first place. Not that you have to be as strict as you were detoxing, but you really have to watch that. And that's why I think after the holidays, many people like to do the detox, because you've kind of gotten off track a little bit and you can really start to feel it in your body. But fried carbs, fried foods, those trans fats, coffee, sugar, sweetened drinks, energy drinks. It's a great way to also re-engage with a healthy lifestyle. We encourage, obviously, if you smoke, to stop. There's so many toxins in that. We do have patients that detox that are smoking, but common sense, if you're taking toxins out of your body and then you're smoking and putting them back in. We do have some patients that used to work in smoke environments, family businesses where actually some people were smoking, and they actually every quarter did a 1-month detox because they would start to get headaches. It's like, oh, okay, time to detox again. And actually for women, like cosmetics, it's amazing how many chemicals can be in our cosmetics, our lotions, what we're putting on our skin, that all gets absorbed. And, like they found they're using lead and red lipstick. So you really have to be careful what you're using. Our environment, where are these toxins coming from? 20-something years ago, when I would tell people they were toxic, the first thing out of their mouth was, I'm not an alcoholic. But these toxins are really coming from everywhere. They're in our environment. In fact, every year there's new chemicals added. So many, in fact, that if you took semi trucks and line them up end to end from California to New York, they could all have chemicals in them. I mean, new ones. And that includes medications as well. So there's a lot of different chemicals in our environment, like BPA, in the plastic. Fire retardants are on our kids' clothes. That's the scary part. Our kids are actually exposed to a lot more than you realize. So a lot of different chemicals in the environment. You add to it stress. I'm no different than any of you. I'm sure you felt some added stress this year with everything. But stress, poor diet, lack of exercise can lead you to really feeling tired, having trouble sleeping or falling asleep, affecting your digestion, causing food cravings and weight gain, making your mental clarity just not what it should be. And it even affects the sex drive because it tends to cause your adrenal glands, your stress glands, to become fatigued. And so it can really affect every system of your body, organ system of your body. So let's talk about how our organs assist us in purification. So you have a liver, and it's interesting because some people are told that, don't worry about your liver, you're on this med or that med, and we'll just check those enzymes, make sure that they're not up, and your liver is so big it can just recover. Well, not necessarily. The liver is like the oil filter in your car. So what it's doing is it's filtering out toxins on a daily basis. Now, these toxins, like we mentioned before, could come from the environment, and I'm sure you could make a list of everything, what we're putting on our skin and things like that. But it also can come from internal. So if you're not moving your bowels on a daily basis, all those toxins that are supposed to be eliminated are going back into your system. And then even hormones that are supposed to be recycled and eliminated go back into your system, and that can lead to hormone imbalance. So the liver filters those toxins. It aids your body in metabolizing fat, protein, and carbohydrates. So many people now are being diagnosed with these fatty livers. And in the past, that was just because people were drinking too much alcohol. But unfortunately now we're eating too many carbs. We're eating so much sugar that the body doesn't know where else to go with it. It doesn't need it. Your cells don't need it for energy. So it has to go somewhere. So where it goes is your liver, and your liver acts as a storage unit for all this sugar, and your body will turn that sugar into fat and store it into the liver for later use. Unfortunately, it's not like we're in a famine here where we have zero food and need those reserves. And so we end up with this fatty liver. That is reversible, by the way, and a detox is a good way to start. It helps transform those toxins into harmless agents. Basically, it'll turn something literally that can kill your cells and poison you into something that is like water. So that's the whole key. Now, the liver is a key organ there. Kidneys are also important when we look at our body for getting rid of extra toxins, because they also filter out the waste and excess fluid from the blood. Now, high blood pressure, being that there's no heart issues going on or kidney disease, high blood pressure is one of the easiest things to actually fix. And I'm not talking about medication. Medication, again, if you don't have a heart issue going on or a kidney disease or something else, medication is just going to try to bring those numbers down by basically dehydrating you. And why does our body hold on to all that extra water? Well, it holds on to it because you have too many toxins in your body, and that is going to kill your cells. That's going to slowly wear at your body and slowly kill you. So your body counteracts that by retaining water and diluting all those toxins so they're not so strong. And so when you remove those with a medication or what's called a diuretic, it can get really concentrated, and it actually does more harm than good, even though the numbers look great, right? So by detoxing, you're getting rid of those excess toxins in the joints, in the brain tissue, in your organ tissues, wherever they're being stored. You're getting rid of those. So then your body doesn't need that extra water anymore. So if you notice that you're peeing more when you're detoxing, that's not just because, we're telling you make sure you're drinking lots of water to get rid of all of this, but it's also because you don't have those toxins. There's no need for your body to dilute anything. So it doesn't need that extra water. It just gets rid of it. The kidneys also regulate and release the right balance of sodium, phosphorus, and potassium for the body to function properly. So they're also a very important detox organ. So if you have blood pressure problems, it's very common without heart issues or kidney issues going on, that within 21, 28 days, that blood pressure can be pretty much down to normal. Another organ that we look at for detox is actually part of your digestive tract. So your small and large intestine actually play a role with detox. In fact, we have learned more about this over the last 5 to 7 years. The small intestine digests food so that nutrients can be absorbed into the blood and transported to your liver. And it provides a barrier that blocks toxins from the rest of the body. So any type of a leaky gut or any type of like digestive issue that will prevent that normal process from happening can cause toxicity. The large intestine more or less absorbs the water and electrolytes, and it forms waste that you then excrete from your body. It also produces antibodies for your GI health, and it contains bacteria that create fatty acids and some vitamins for additional nutritional support. So that large intestine is important actually for our health and for getting enough of our nutrients and good fats for our hormones and cholesterol and things that we need. And then, of course, the liver. It's the primary organ of detox. And this slide, I'm not going to get too technical here, but detoxification, it's not like the toxin goes to the liver and poof, out of thin air, it's water and you get rid of it. It actually occurs in a couple different phases. Now, each phase requires different nutrients in order to properly detoxify. So there's, when we look at detox, I mentioned there's a lot of different definitions, and it's kind of a buzzword now. And I just, I'm looking at my phone at the moment because I wanted to give you the right definition there. So it's become kind of hype, like, oh, I'm going to detox. And so for some people, what that means is they're going to drink lemon water every morning, or they're going to start eating more vegetables. And I'm not knocking that. That is wonderful. But what I want to point out is what we do with functional medicine, we're actually talking tonight about what's called metabolic detoxification. That's literally taking the toxins out of the tissues and getting rid of it. It is the process of reducing the body's toxic load by lessening the exposure to harmful chemicals we are taking in, while simultaneously implementing nutrition and lifestyle strategies to promote efficient elimination of toxins from the body. So it's not just about let's get rid of what we need to get rid of in our diets and forming those great habits. That's all great, but it's also giving our body the nutrition that it's now lacking to get rid of those toxins in the first place. So you do need a lot of nutritional support for the liver. So when a toxin comes to the liver, it needs to be processed. So phase 1, detoxification, there's certain nutrients that are needed for that. And then certain toxins then go through phase 2 detox, and then there's certain nutrients that are required for that as well. Now, if you're sensitive to chemicals in the environment, if you're really sensitive to smells, like candles bother you, that's what I'm thinking of. Different, you're just more chemically sensitive. Oftentimes that means that your phase 2 detox is a problem. And we've had patients in the past that literally, they had something done in their home, chemicals were used, and they were, laid out flat on the couch for a couple weeks because of their body was unable to get rid of those toxins they were breathing in their house. So phase 2 detox, requires different nutrients as well. So you want to make sure that you're covering the right bases. And honestly, we do it to ourselves. 90% of the conditions that, we're spending millions of dollars on in the US, things like diabetes are on the rise. 90% of what ails us and what we come down with are our own fault. Only 10% is genetics. So when you say my whole family had high blood pressure, doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have high blood pressure. What will determine if you have high blood pressure will depend on your lifestyle. Some people genetically are going to be more sensitive to developing cancers and different diseases and high blood pressure and things like that than other people. My husband, I'll tell you a little story about that, has had high blood pressure since he was in 6th grade. And he was told, well, why do you want to change your diet? Just take a pill. And he's like, I'm 12, but that still doesn't sound, right to me. So he had lost a lot of weight at one point, still had high blood pressure. Well, when my journey started with trying to figure out my health issues, I also had him tested, found out he had a couple food sensitivities, and he was also toxic. Within 30 days after doing the detox, or 28 days, he no longer had high blood pressure. To this day, we know when he needs to detox again because blood pressure starts to go up, when he starts to slip back into maybe some old habits, he knows he's got to buckle it down. So, we're doing this to ourselves, eating things with a lot of additives and ingredients we can't pronounce, the sugary fast foods, all those empty calories. And when you eat empty calories, you crave empty calories because your body's looking for the nutrition. Any way you look at it, whatever diet is out there, the Whole30, the vegetarian, the paleo, not Atkins, what is the new one? The keto, not even new. Keto was originally actually designed for people with neurological issues. In fact, my sister who has epilepsy, we taken her to Mayo Clinic when she was about 12 years old. And they put her on the keto, and it was very doctor supervised. So now when we're using that as weight loss, can be quite unsustainable for many people. But either way, anything that you're doing, you basically are cutting calories or watching calories. And what I noticed about myself as I've gotten older, and the body does change some, is that every quarter I have kept a food diary for 1 to 2 weeks. Now it's nice because they have apps for that, which is awesome. Because I think, I'm doing great. Well, guess what? Even I, who I do this for a living, find out I'm not doing as great as I thought I was. So for the 2 weeks, what I generally will fall into for myself is not drinking as much water as I think I am, not getting the vegetables that I think I'm getting. And the biggest thing for me, because I'm working during the day, is I eat the majority of my calories later at night. And what I will notice is even if I have the same number of calories throughout the day, if I space it out, I do great. If I don't, that's where the fatigue sets in. That's where I can gain a couple pounds, even though the calorie intake is the same. So we need to cut the calories. 87% of people don't get the right amount of vegetables. 75% of people don't get enough fruit. Dairy, no, I'm not a big dairy person, but 86% of intakes below the goal. I don't consume dairy. It's not good for my sinuses. And 70% of people eat way too much sugar. I think that's much higher, honestly, if we look at where they hide sugar in our foods. Sodium, 89% have intakes above the limit. And don't think you're going to a health food store and everything in there is healthy for you. There's still a lot of sugar. There's still a lot of sodium in a lot of that food too. So you got to keep reading those labels. So weight is just getting out of control. So if you look at this is 1985 to 2010 we're going to look at here, okay? So this is 1985. So the dark is like 10 to 14% obesity. So then if we go to 1990, quite the difference. So they do this every 5 years, you can see. And so basically what they mean by obese is there's a BMI greater or equal to 30 or 30 pounds overweight for a person that's 5'4". Okay, we go to 95. And now the dark blue is 15 to 19% obesity in that state. 2000, now we're at 20% obesity. So you see how it's getting worse, right? And everybody always chuckles because they think Wisconsin is the most unhealthy state, but believe it or not, some of these southern states down there, like Missouri, tends to be much higher, Mississippi. And then we go to 2005, we're up to greater than 30% in Louisiana. There you see, Wisconsin is up to 20 to 24%. So almost 20, a quarter of our population in Wisconsin is considered obese. 2010, and it gets worse. So we're almost up to probably 30% obesity. And that's not okay. And that's where we need to take individual responsibility for our health. Now, there are different questionnaires that you can take to see how bad your toxic exposure is. And I really would be happy to send you this if you want to take one before you would do a detox and then take it after. It's kind of fun to see. We've had people score very, very high on here, like 100 and something, 150 or 160. And then after a 28-day time frame, down to like 35. So you can imagine how good those people feel. So in particular, I'm just going to talk about one program. I don't want to go, spend an hour going over everything. But in 21 days, you can do a lot for your body. So this is what like totally blows me away. It makes me want to come into work every day and help people, because we see people that are very broken. They'll come in, oh, I'm a hot mess. And they literally have everything on that questionnaire. And then it's amazing to me how the body can heal itself in as short of time as 21 to 28 days, when you know that person's body has been breaking down slowly over sometimes decades. We're talking 30 years, 40 years. And they come in and boom, 21, 28 days. They're just amazing. It just amazes me. So what we really want to focus on with these detoxes is to support your body's natural detox pathways, again, with that nutrition. And these are what are called medical foods. So they've actually medically, scientifically analyzed them, studied them, and they put the right ratios of everything in there so that the body can get rid of toxins. It helps you maintain a consistent, healthy weight, begin a healthier lifestyle, have more energy, improve digestion as well. So the one I'm just going to briefly talk about here is the standard process purification program. So they are known for their whole food. So all of this is concentrated food that's in their medical food. I think did I grab one? No. So it comes in like a chai flavor or an unflavored one. We also utilize like the one that we're giving away here, this Clear Change, the Metagenics, and then also Nutrition Dynamics or Nutridyne. So really based on the person, we figure out what's going to be the best one for you. And you see the water is super important. So now with standard process, being whole food, they have a couple different ways that you can do it. One utilizes a lot more supplements than the other. Basically, what they have done, you'll see these 4 products on the screen here. The SP Cleanse, the SP Complete, Gastrofiber, and SP Green Food. What they have done is they have now made a product that has all of it in there in a powder, so you don't have to take, because it can be up to like 21 different supplements that you're swallowing in addition to mixing up the shake with water. The other products that I mentioned from Metagenics and Nutrition Dynamics actually just mix with water. You can mix them with other things too. Sometimes I'll actually throw a little bit of avocado in there just to make it creamier and mix better. And everyone asks, what does it taste good? Well, I'll be honest, what tastes good to me may not taste good to you. We have some people that, oh yeah, I'll have the chocolate. Well, it's really chocolatey. And they're like, oh, it's too chocolatey. But if you like chocolate, you like it. Some people, like the vanilla. So you kind of have to go with what you want to go with. And most people are okay, but some people are like, eh. This just tells you a little bit more about what they put in there. They're going to have in there supplements that are going to support your liver, your kidney, your gallbladder function, healthy digestion, and help you eliminate those toxins, because that's what you need to do. There's also juniper berry in there. Did a little research on the juniper berry. Nothing will grow around that bush. So it actually has a lot, it's a natural diuretic, but it actually has a lot of anti-cancer properties to it as well. It's pretty fascinating when you look, actually study like food and plants. Other things, Spanish black radish, some grapefruit, fenugreek seeds, so things to help with cholesterol metabolism. And that's one thing I didn't mention, because a lot of people think that cholesterol is the enemy. It really isn't. When you see cholesterol going up, usually that means there's a blood sugar imbalance somewhere. So your body is trying to turn that sugar into fat, which is cholesterol. So you see the cholesterol going up. So if you're just treating cholesterol numbers, you're really missing the boat. There's something causing it. You got to fix the cause of the problem, not putting Band-Aids. If you come to our office, you'll see in the hallway, we have actually a poster or a picture of a tree, and that's our functional medicine tree. And the best thing I can tell you when you look at that is the roots is where, a tree gets its nourishment from. So if a tree has leaves that are wilting and falling off, if you just water the leaves, it's probably not going to save the tree. So taking medication for a lot of these problems is like watering the leaves on a tree. You're treating the symptom, you're treating what's coming out, but then the roots are dying. So what we're doing here is we're like, well, let's fix the roots. Let's get the roots healthy, and then we're going to have a healthy body. We're going to have a healthy tree. The powder kind of looks like this. But it basically is a whole food powder. So all of these products that we have for detox actually are balanced protein, carbs, and fat. I use this as a meal. So the dietary plan that comes with it, which we'll go through shortly, the dietary plan that comes with it, I always tell people, if you have a shake and you're full, don't feel like now you have to force feed yourself. Just go ahead and eat from the list when you're hungry. So you should not be hungry on a detox. What you may find is if you're somebody who ate a lot of carbs and sugar, what can happen is you turn off the natural mechanisms of the body that tell you when you're full. And if you've overeaten a lot too, this will happen. Your body doesn't have the hormone balance it needs for those hormones that tell you when you're full and when you're hungry. And that can take up to a year to get back. So when you start eliminating some of these comfort foods like the carbs and the sugars, sometimes you might feel hungry even though you're really not. I mean, you took in enough nourishment. It's just that hormone imbalance. So obviously drinking lots of water helps, staying active and refocusing the mind. But just, keep that in mind too. It supports a healthy weight. Now, this is not of itself a weight loss program. Depending how much weight you have to lose, I tell people you will lose probably between 3 and 15 pounds. People that start this that are have to lose a lot of weight tend to lose more weight. Obviously, the closer you follow it, the more weight that you lose. I always notice a peak in energy. I don't necessarily lose weight when I detox, but I definitely lean down, get leaner. I can tell that. My workouts go easier. Now, with the standard process, it does come in a whey or a rice protein. Now, the all-in-one product that I was telling you about, where they put everything together, is actually more of a pea protein, so more of a vegetarian protein. But they're putting all the same ingredients in there. So calcium and magnesium, grapeseed and red wine extracts. Red wine extract, just saying, for the proanthocyanidins, you're not going to feel like drunk or anything. I just want to point that out. Buckwheat is not a gluten. It's not wheat, just so you know, but that helps with circulation, and choline and inositol help with your nerve and brain function. They do put the greens in there, healthy liver, antioxidants, phytonutrients, cholesterol, helps with that. So there's so much good stuff in here. Brussels sprouts and kale. See, you can have your veggies without even realizing you're having your veggies. That's what makes it great. Barley grass and alfalfa is in there. Fiber, a lot of fiber, because when you have toxins, you want to pull them out of the body. So fiber is important with that. Some other things we sometimes add in for people might be like fish oil, depending on, what's going on. Now, these do come as kits. And so what that means is if you're doing the 21-day, which requires more of the supplements, otherwise where they put them all together into just the powder, that would be a 28-day or a 10-day. And then the other product we mentioned that we're giving away is a 10-day. And they also have a 28-day kit. Comes with a shaker bottle, a booklet on how to do it. But of course, I will go over that with you thoroughly to make sure that you're doing it right and checking in, because that's important. So this is the powder. The SP Detox Balance is the powder that has everything in it. So kind of how are you eating? Well, in a nutshell, no matter which detox program you're doing, it's going to more or less be gluten and dairy free. It's going to be whole foods that you're eating. It's going to be lean protein and meats like chicken and fish, grass-fed beef on some of them as well. Your vegetables, your fruit, rice. And how it generally will work is you're going to ramp it up. So you'll start by just eating well and ramp it up. And then, like if you're doing a 28-day, that second week, you're going to be much stricter in that detox, where you're really more or less thoroughly detoxing that week. You'll be a little stricter as far as the diet goes, with the lean protein, really concentrating on only particular veggies and fruits in there. And I always say, if it's not on the list, no, you can't have it, because inevitably many people will go, can I have this? I'm like, is it on the list? No. Okay, then you can't have it. So you are eliminating as much caffeine as possible. I let people do some green tea, or maybe if you're a coffee drinker, we can let you have 1 cup of the organic black coffee. It's when you add stuff to coffee, that stuff is what kind of negates the health benefits of coffee. Eliminating a lot of the processed foods, of course, things that have toxins in them. And I'll be honest, 9.999% of people out of 10, when they first look at all of this, they're overwhelmed by it. But I will tell you that 80% of people come back and tell us, oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought. Because once you get into it, it's really not as bad as you think. And even if my own mother did this years ago, and she literally drank 1 to 1.5 pots of coffee a day. And I thought for sure she'd be getting headaches because she went cold turkey off the coffee. But she did great. She said, no, I didn't get a headache. Then you have the person that drinks a cup a day, they eliminate it and they get a headache. So everyone is different as far as how they detoxify, how fast they detoxify. And that's why we do more doctor supervised, which of course, if you're going to do a detox, we would be doing that. We'd be checking in with you, making sure, how is it going? So what are you supposed to do? Well, I encourage all of you to look in your environment, look in your house, look in your car. We had a patient one time, he, I can't remember what his symptom was. I think it was something like sinus. We couldn't figure it out. Well, here he worked for SC Johnson, and they were testing in your car those vent air fresheners for your car. We figured out that was what it was. He got rid of that, did a detox, and was much better. So anything, your makeup, your cleaning products, anything like that you can go more natural with and less toxins, the better. So replace them with healthy alternatives. That's going to go a long way. Just eating and drinking high quality, clean food and water. We need to do that. I have a patient from Italy that when they go to Italy and they're eating all that high quality, clean food and water, they lose 5 pounds without even trying. It's amazing just how much junk that we have in our, in our food, and they do it on purpose so that we eat more and buy more. Really focus on rebuilding your temple, meaning your body, with your diet and nutrients that are right for you. Address all aspects of your health, even if you're symptom free. I don't really have any symptoms, but once a year, that's my insurance policy. I'm gonna do a detox, and I have some family health issues that I've seen other family members and my parents and that go through that I have not gone through when they went through it when they were my age. I have not gone through any of that, and I really feel that that's because of what I did. My first detox, I was mid-20s when I did it, and I always encourage those patients of ours that are looking at having children. It's a great idea to detox before you have kids, to get rid of all of that. They actually have done studies and found that what we come down with ourselves might not be because of what we have done necessarily, but it was what our parents did, our great-grandparents, our great-great-great-grandparents, because a lot of these toxins can actually affect the genes and affect the genetics that down the line leads to problems in other family members. Be good to yourself. Don't be so self-critical. Be your best friend. We all need to laugh more, have more fun. Just really, I think that would be a great New Year's resolution for a lot of us. It's just to find humor in things and not take things so seriously. Weight loss is a great New Year's resolution. Unfortunately, for many people, they don't sustain it or they don't get to it. And then the next year is the same thing. So maybe find some other health goals that might lead to weight loss for you. At least get you on the right track and get moving. Move your body. Consistent activity, just moving. Got to get out, got to get moving. And then just detoxifying your body once a year. I truly believe, whether you're symptomatic or not, that's a great thing, because we live in a toxic world. Everything you breathe in, the products that we're coming in contact with, whether it's on our food or what we're putting on our skin, they're all around us. They did a study with women, in fact. By the time a woman leaves the house in the morning, you've been exposed to at least 300 different toxins, from your hairspray to your, grooming products that we use, all that makeup and the food you eat. It's incredible. All right. So again, if you want to win that 10-day metabolic detox program, hit that chat and say I'm in. I do see the name, so that isn't a problem. We'll be doing a drawing in the morning, and then we definitely will contact you. Now, how do you get started with this? Well, we need you to connect with us. Let us know that, yes, this is definitely something I want to do. I just, I would personally call you or talk with you to determine what's going to be the best program for you. And certain things that I look at, because and why we don't just have this, we don't sell these just to the general public, is because certain medications, you have to be careful with. So our little one-on-one consult, whether it's on the phone or in person, we'll be talking about that. We'll talk about, as far as taste goes, we want you to be successful on this. So I don't want to give you something that's vanilla flavored and you can't stand vanilla. So those are all things we look at. Certain people that are more sensitive to several food items, sometimes the whole food detox isn't going to be the best thing for them. So we can really, really get a good sense of what you need to do and move forward with that. Now, the other great news, by the way, because this is so dear to my heart with Detox, I just think everybody, they should just have them on the shelf at the grocery store, is that we're going to discount the price of the Detox kits. And that would be, you would be saving 15% on those kits. We're going to have that open for the next, till like January. Now, you don't have to start the detox necessarily. Some people do great. Honestly, we have patients right now doing a detox that'll be done around Christmas time. With COVID and everything, the holidays are going to be a little different this year. It might be a little bit easier, right? Otherwise, you can start in January too. It doesn't matter. We just need to know that you want to do it. What are we ordering? And then you can have it at home and you can be ready to start on January 1st. Also, please use that chat too if you have any questions for me. I'm putting up our phone number. We also have our website with a ton of testimonials. Oh, I have to tell you guys this. So we had a woman reach out that I had met several years ago. Well, long story short, she's like 82 years old and very health-minded. And she said, I did a detox 5 years ago and felt great. Now I kind of fell off and I feel lousy. So she actually did the 28-day, came back and was like, oh my gosh, everybody has to do this. She said, you fall off the wagon and it happens so slowly over time. You don't realize how bad you feel until you feel good again. It's like, but she's 82. She actually has her testimonial on our website or our YouTube channel as well. So that's fun. But we have several people too with chronic back pain that we're not getting help with chiropractic or any type of therapy. And after doing a detox, the chronic back pain went away. So that was their weak area that the toxins went to. So it can be different for everybody. So a couple people asking for the detox questionnaire. That's good. So yeah, I have your emails too, which is awesome, because what I'll do is I'll send that to you in an email. And then if you don't get it, let me know, because I'm going to go ahead and I'll do that right away. That's kind of how I roll. I do it right away. I'm not a procrastinator. Otherwise, you can feel free to call our office. We're in all day tomorrow, 9 to 5. That's the 414-422-1203 phone number that you see there. So I appreciate everybody joining us. And I'm really hoping to have a group that's going to detox with me. It's always so much more fun doing it with other people. And we're actually looking at also, depending how many people are doing it, we're going to formulate maybe even a Facebook group to kind of support each other. Maybe put a joke or two up, right? When you're having a tough day or something. Or, if you need somebody to yell at that is already doing it instead of yelling at your spouse or your kids. So thank you very much for joining us, and look for future webinars and information. And I'll be in touch with all of you soon. Thank you.